Science and engineering practice number 1. I can ask questions and define a problem. Let's hear about this practice from our expert. Professor Gizmo, take it away.
Hello, kids. It's Professor Gizmo. Welcome to Mrs. Camp's Conservatory of Science. As you know, I'm an expert on the science and engineering practices. And I'm here to talk to you about the first science and engineering practice, asking questions. Now, you probably think you only ask questions when you don't know something or you need some help, like, hey, teacher, I need some help with this math problem. But guess what? Scientists also ask a different kind of questions. They ask questions about everything, even if they're experts. That's because scientists are so curious. Curious means you want to know about the world around you. So you ask questions. Like maybe if you're outside right now and you want to know why the leaves are changing colors, you would ask questions because you're curious. That's what the first science and engineering practice is, asking questions. You want to know why something happens, how something happens, if it always happens the same way or does it sometimes happen different ways. So be curious, because that's the most important thing you can be when you're a scientist.
All right, let's go ahead and practice being a scientist. Like maybe this has happened to you before. You've had a pumpkin and you carved it into a jack-o'-lantern, and after a couple days, some weird stuff started happening. We call that a phenomenon, and scientists are curious about that phenomenon, so they're going to ask questions. Like, why does the inside of the pumpkin turn black? And why does the pumpkin start to get soft and mushy? And have you ever noticed? Eventually the pumpkin starts to disappear. How does that happen? And what would happen if you put it in the freezer? Would it not disappear? Is there any way I can keep my pumpkin from disappearing? Where does the mold come from? How long does it take for the pumpkin to be completely gone? Would the same thing happen to a cucumber? Is my pumpkin living or non-living after it disappears? Why does it happen faster if it's carved? Those are just some questions that a scientist might be curious about.
All right, it's been so fun asking questions with you. Indianola scientists, remember, an important part, if not the most important part of being a scientist is asking questions about the world. Stay tuned for our next science and engineering practices, developing models.